Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you some of the latest insights and happenings in the life of Sheikh Hamdan and his family. There's always so much intrigue surrounding Sheikh Hamdan's relationships, especially with his ex-wife, Hadia Zen. I know many of you have been eagerly following these stories, and, in this video, I'm going to provide you with an in-depth look at a recent heartfelt exchange that has stirred a lot of emotions. In my last video, I shared details of a conversation Sheikh Hamdan had with his ex-wife. They expressed their feelings through a series of emotional poems, giving us a glimpse into the deep, complex emotions involved. Today, I have an update about Sheikh Hamdan's second trip to Uzbekistan, where something rather unexpected happened. He reached out to his ex-wife, Hadia Zen, once again, hoping to reconnect in some way. Let's dive into what happened. While Sheikh Hamdan was in Uzbekistan, he called Hadia Zen. She picked up the call and answered his questions, but those close to the situation say Hadia seemed to be in a rather low mood. One reason for this is Sheikh Hamdan's tendency to end their conversations with the question of whether Hadia will come back to the palace. He often expresses a longing for her to return, and this constant hope is something he cannot hide. However, Hadia is someone who values her independence deeply. She has a strong desire to make her own decisions, especially when it comes to something as personal as returning to the palace. Sheikh Hamdan's insistence, though well-meaning, seems to put a strain on her. It's as though the more he brings it up, the more it pushes her away. Naturally, this has created tension between them, and it seems Hadia felt somewhat pressured during this particular conversation. By the end of their talk, Sheikh Hamdan could sense that Hadia was hesitant to fully engage with him, possibly even a bit distant. This realization affected him deeply, and he decided to end the call somewhat abruptly. It's clear that Sheikh Hamdan was hurt, and he chose to express these emotions in a way that has become very characteristic of him, through poetry. On October 28, 2024, Sheikh Hamdan shared a poem on his Instagram, and the words he used offer a glimpse into his feelings during this moment of longing and emotional pain. Before we get into the translation and analysis, I want to share the original poem so you can get a feel for its emotional intensity. Afterward, I'll walk through the translation and interpretation to give you a deeper understanding of each verse. Poem translation. the peak of life madness in some moments of it. That you wish your life is just a soul without body. And for who stood and waited for the cloud and its rain shower. With emotion and intimacy, his soul characterized. The nature of the breathtaking view in herself. It may obligate who's looking at her to smile. Poem explanation. The peak of life madness in some moments of it. Turn, combined with her independence, may be creating an emotional storm within him, leaving him torn between his position as crown prince and his personal feelings. That you wish your life is just a soul without body. This line speaks to the longing for freedom from physical constraints. As the Crown Prince of Dubai, Sheikh Hamdan must balance his duties and responsibilities, which often include the necessity of a formal marriage with Sheikha Thani. Yet his heart seems to long for something else, his connection with Hadia. This line expresses a deep yearning to be free of the body's physical restrictions and to live purely in the soul's realm, where only love and emotional connections exist. He may be wishing for a simpler life where he could follow his heart entirely without regard to royal expectations. And for who stood and waited for the cloud and its rain shower. Here, Sheikh Hamdan describes himself as someone who patiently waits for the rain, a metaphor for Hadia's affection. He likens himself to someone waiting for nourishment and refreshment, perhaps representing his hope for Hadia's return and her love. The imagery of waiting for rain is also significant in that it conveys patience, as well as a quiet, steady hope that one day she will come back to him. With emotion and intimacy, his soul characterized. Sheikh Hamdan reveals his true self here, describing himself as someone filled with deep emotion and a longing for intimacy. This line showcases his vulnerability, showing that beneath his royal title, he is someone who feels deeply and craves a reciprocal emotional bond with Hadia. This longing is more than a simple desire. It's a core part of who he is, a man with a soul rich in sensitivity and love. The nature of the breathtaking view in herself. In this line, Sheikh Hamdan admires Hadia's essence, her beauty, and her natural charm. He is captivated by her, not only for her appearance, but for something much deeper within her spirit. He may be expressing that Hadia's beauty and presence have a profound impact on him, leaving him in awe of her breathtaking nature. It may obligate who's looking at her to smile. Finally, he speaks of the joy that Hadia brings simply by being herself. Her presence has a magical effect, compelling those around her to smile. Even amidst tension or distance, Hadia has a way of bringing light and happiness into his life. This line shows that despite the conflicts they may have, Sheikh Hamdan still deeply values and cherishes the positive energy that Hadia brings. As a whole, this poem is a moving reflection of Sheikh Hamdan's inner struggle. On one hand, he has royal duties and obligations, but on the other, he feels a powerful love for Hadia that cannot easily be dismissed. Through his words, Sheikh Hamdan shares his longing, admiration, and the bittersweet emotions that come from loving someone who isn't entirely within reach. Despite the tension between them, Sheikh Hamdan's love for Hadia shines through in every line. He sees her beauty, her charm, and the joy she brings to his life, even though she may not be ready to return to the palace. So, this is the heartfelt poem that Sheikh Hamdan shared on October 28, 2024. I hope my explanation helped you understand the depth of emotion behind each verse. Sheikh Hamdan's poetry continues to reveal so much about his inner world and the complexities of love and duty in his life. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on Sheikh Hamdan and his family. Your support means so much, and it allows me to keep bringing you the latest insights. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.